Grogu is too young to operate heavy machinery.
No.
What do you mean, no?
No.
I think he's saying he's old enough to operate it.
Yes.
Welcome back to WD Magiccast for the week of May 28th, 2023. Happy Memorial Day, USA. This is episode 224, WD Magiccast, the show about the mouse, the Marvels, the galaxy, and beyond. I'm your host, Matthew Gracon. In this week's show, David Gallman and I sit down and finally give our overdue reviews of Mandalorian Season 3 and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, which will give you our review at first, and we do get into spoilers afterwards, just for warning, but be sure to tune in when applicable. On a personal note, I do apologize that we've missed the past several weeks. I've had some things to deal with on a personal level that took me away. I had to step away from the show for that period of time and just take care of some things, but trying to get things back on course. I can't promise a episode every week. I'm going to do my best to get you an episode every week, but at the same time, personal life does have to take consideration. So that being said, though, we are back this episode. Please enjoy, share it out, and in the meantime, if I do miss a week, we have 223 other episodes that you can listen to if you haven't listened to them all yet. And if you have, thank you. And with that bombshell, we'll be back after these words from our friends and sponsors.
Hello there, WD Magiccast friends. This is Anthony King, the host of the podcast Force Ghost Conversations. This podcast is your home for cozy deep dives into all things Star Wars, including the latest news, movies, TV shows, video games, books, and everything else in a galaxy far, far away. We can be found on every major podcast platform. Just search for Force Ghost Conversations. This is the way to your next Star Wars podcast, and may the Force be with you.
And now, on with the show. We're back, and we're about to break the nerd barrier. Yes, we are going to be talking about two different franchises. We'll be talking about Star Wars, and we'll be talking about Marvel. And to break these barriers and tear down these walls, I had to bring back someone who loves tearing down walls and breaking things. Of course, I am talking about Groot. Nope, sorry. David Gallman is back, and we'll be talking some overdue reviews that have been long time in the making.
Mm-hmm. Thank you, Matthew, for having me back. And I think that's what we're best at, the overdue reviews of things. So why not?
Hey, why not? Why step away from something we're good at?
Yeah, exactly.
So first, it's been long to get to, but Mandalorian Season 3 wrapped up last month. And
yeah,
we're finally getting around to talking about it. We've been a little busy.
Oh, yeah.
So how was your take on this season?
I think if I remember on our previous episodes talking about this, that I was a little worried about how they could continue this over the hype of the conclusion of the last season. And I think for me, it didn't achieve that same excitement as the second season. It was a little bit of a letdown for me. I just don't know. I think, I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're changing direction. I'm not 100% sure what's going on. Because for me in this one, it looked like the Mandalorian and Grogu took a backseat to everybody else. And those were the stars of the show. it looked like they were focusing on throwing people in for cameos, which made for lesser of episodes. So, I don't know. It didn't hit for me as the other seasons have, which is I'm like very hard to say that because I love this show so much.
I get it. I still enjoyed it, but I found it not as gripping, I want to say, as the previous, definitely the previous season. The first season took a little bit to get into. The second season, I think so far has been the strongest. I still enjoyed it. I enjoyed everything I saw. Wasn't quite as compelling,
right,
in some aspects, but I still found it fun. I like the going to different places that they went to, introducing more characters, getting more lore. Going back to Mandalore and setting up things there. We get more of Bo-Katan's story, which I enjoyed that. Some really heart-wrenching, sad moments. So you did have that more emotional end with some of the characters of their conclusion of their stories, or the direction that their story went in. So, yeah, I do agree. It wasn't as strong as the second season, particularly the ending.
Right.
But this was more of a fun season.
Mm-hmm.
You need that balance. You can't always, one level up the, okay, we brought Luke Skywalker back and that. So how do you top that?
True, but
simple answers. You really can't.
You can't. But when you have a cool character as Moff Gideon, what are you doing waiting until in an 8-episode season? What are you doing waiting until like episode 7 and bring him back or whatever it was? You know what I mean? Like, to me, it felt like there was no bad guys. Yes, you had the pirates in there and blah blah blah, but there wasn't that overall like, oh, the main bad guy here. He shows up at the end, and those were cool. I loved the last 2 episodes when he was in it. It was just like, okay, where were you throughout the season? So I don't know. It's like, it was for me for an 8-episode season. There's got to be more meat and potatoes throughout those things. You can't have the fluff with the Jack Black episode, it's stuff like or even episode, I think it was episode 3, where it was like the first 5 minutes was the Mandalorians, and then there was like 40 minutes of the doctor and that other, it's been a while, and the lady, remember and they ultimately end up killing it, and then they went back to the Mandalores at the last 5 minutes. So I'm like, what are we watching here? So it,
they did pay her off. There was a reason for her character.
I get that, but that episode, probably all that fluff that was there probably could have been done in 10 minutes.
They could condense it better. Yeah, the Jack Black one, with Christopher Lloyd and everybody, that was all right. I'm trying to remember what the exact extent of that episode was, but it wasn't as poignant. I think it had a little more. I think it was a little more character development in that one.
Well, that was Guns for Hire. They went there and they had them. Yeah, it was just. It could have, that episode could have been removed and it would have been fine.
Yeah, maybe. But yeah, they were just trying to do a little more character development and balance things out that way. I mean, Bo-Katan had the largest character arc in this season out of all the characters.
Mm-hmm. Which I don't know if that was a misstep or not, because I don't know if she's, you know what I mean? Because it's set up where Din Djarin is the main guy, supposedly. And then they do a 180 and switch it to a different person as the lead. So if you are a Din Djarin Grogu supporter and all of a sudden they take a back step, you're like, what am I watching? So to me, yes, she's a cool character. I like her. But for me, it's not the Bo-Katan show. It's it's Grogu. And I would have liked to see more flashbacks with Grogu. What happened to him. We got the one flashback, what happened to him, but I would have liked a little bit more on him. But they didn't even, we got nowhere on that. So we're still no further along with his character.
No, but I was happy to see his flashback with Ahmad Best making his appearance. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get your point, and I did hear some of that stuff from other people that I've talked to about it. This season seems like it has quite the range of people's opinions, from really enjoying it to someone enjoying it to not liking it at all because of the direction. It really was quite the mixed bag.
Yeah, because to me it just seemed like it was all over the place. That's what it felt to me.
Yeah.
We didn't have like a steady pace going along. It was just everywhere, and you didn't know which episode you were going to get when it fired up.
No. But like I said, in the end, everything I did enjoy everything. I didn't walk away groaning from any of the episodes like I have in some other series.
Mm-hmm.
But it was an enjoyable season. I will put it at that. It was enjoyable. I didn't absolutely love it. I didn't hate it. But I enjoyed what I got. Still like it better than episode 3.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I mean it's not total hate from me. I did enjoy it. It did not live up to the past seasons. I don't know. I'm hoping it ties in better on the 4th season. They come up with a better direction, because it's just and let Grogu do his own thing. He doesn't need an IG body to walk around in. Like, when he first got I know I'm all complaining about it, so everybody probably thinks I hate this stuff, but no, I did enjoy it. But I'm nitpicking. He's in that body. There was only so much he could do with that besides say yes and no and walk clunking around. So it's like just. I didn't understand that one.
I guess 1 for the tie-in, 2 to be blunt, merchandising, and 3,
yeah, true.
It gives him a more it changes up his skill set for combat. So at the end, wherever he was able to battle with the IG suit.
Mm-hmm.
And do stuff that way, where if he didn't have that, well, we know his force abilities are still subpar.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to put him in these dangerous situations with what protecting him. He doesn't use guns. He doesn't use weapons. He doesn't do any of that type of stuff. Doesn't even have a lightsaber. So how is he combating? All right. So how do we give him something to use as like a better term, weapon or something to defend himself with? So, okay, we'll create this thing where he uses the IG body, and he will be the driver of it, per se, and that will be his mode of defending himself and attacking his. So it's a definitely a creative way around it.
No, I get that, but like when he went up against the Praetorian Guards or whatever, I think that's what they're called. When he went up against them, there's no way him and an IG thing, he's not going to last. So he's getting knocked out of that thing in a heartbeat. So it's like when I see that, okay, yeah, maybe if he's fighting like one of those pirates, he can get away with being in that clunky body. But when he's going up against the Praetorian Guards, that was it. It was game over. He's gonna jump out of there and start flipping around like Yoda used to do. But I don't know. I get it. I get where the angle came from for it. For me, it was cute when it first happened, but then the practical sense of it for me just kicked in and said, yeah, this is not. No, we need him to grow as a character now. We stop giving him. First it was the baby cart that floats, and then now it's the IG. Okay, so how about the next season we just let him grow to where he could defend himself?
In progression, it takes time. These things will take time, and they will happen. Just like wherever he will talk. We will hear words coming out of his mouth. That they are laying the groundwork for that as well. So that's going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think also, yeah, like you have the cuteness factor of going no.
Mm-hmm.
They just need to switch up to not the mama. The mama.
Yeah. I missed that show. No, okay. Dinosaurs.
So on Disney Plus.
Mm-hmm.
So out of a 10 scale, how would you rate this?
Out of a 10,
For
I'll
the
give him a
season.
7. Yeah, I'll give him a 7.
Okay.
For me, it's good. It's average.
Yeah, I'll probably go with an 8.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with an 8 on that. I did enjoy it. Nothing too mind blowing. I like going to Mandalore and that whole thing with the Mythosaur, Bo-Katan story arc didn't bother me. I liked where they went with that. Moff Gideon's Beskar suit. So yeah, quite interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean,
So-
my final thought is like,
Yeah.
just like I was saying, the reason, like, I could take 1 and 2 and 7 and 8. Great episodes.
Yep.
Remove the 4 in the middle. Because that basically, that's where I stand with it. The 4 episodes in the middle there were rough. So that's why it's kind of hard for me to give it a higher of a score. But it started off good and it ended great. But that stuff in the middle was just what?
Fair enough.
Yeah. So there you go.
All right, now let's switch to another part of the galaxy and talk about the Guardians of the Galaxy,
Yes.
Volume 3.
Mm-hmm.
The last of the Guardians of the Galaxies by Tim Gunn and As We Know Them.
Yes. Home run on this one.
So we will definitely be getting into spoilers, so let's get our grades out of the way. If you haven't seen it yet, why not? It's been out for 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Pause the episode, go see it, come back, finish up.
Mhm.
If you have seen it, feel free to continue along. But Dave, out of 10, how would you rate Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3?
Okay, I'm not going to give it a perfect score, but it's going to be about a 9 for me because I found it very enjoyable. It was a home run for me. It didn't continue the phase. What are we on? Phase 6 or 5 or whatever we're on.
5.
5, but it did. What it did do was give a nice cap on the Guardians trilogy. You couldn't ask for a better finale, for me anyway. It was a good cap for them because these are the guys that if they would have dropped the ball on this, I would have been very disappointed on. I think a lot of people would have.
Oh, absolutely. You would have riots in the theaters.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 9 as well. Solid movie. How everything ends up in the end works for me. In different directions than I was expecting. Some stuff I was expecting to happen didn't. Some of the stuff I was expecting to happen did. It's well written. The pacing of everything was really good. Between the darker lows and the funnier highs.
Mm-hmm.
The cameos, the villain, good to have just a plain old straight up bad guy.
Mm-hmm. And he absolutely loved his role. Boy,
fantastic.
He was into that role, man. And he didn't push that thing where how some actors can overact. Like I don't think he did that at all. He was in that role and he knocked it out of the park. He was phenomenal.
Agreed.
Yeah.
So yeah, there you have it. We both give it a 9. So if you have not seen it, pause here. Continue in 2.5 hours after you've seen it. 2 hours and 45 minutes, I believe.
45. Yep.
If you have, we'll continue along. So I personally enjoyed. Yeah, I enjoyed all of it. I liked how they wrapped up everyone's stories. I was expecting a whole bunch of them to die off. None of them did, which I'm pleasantly surprised because it's like, okay, naturally, how do you stop a character from reoccurring? You stop using a character, you kill them off. Okay, right. Well, here we'll just write a different story, and you kind of get their ending. If we ever wanted to pull them back, we could, but at the same time, they're in a good place.
Yeah, I mean, especially from the trailers that we got, and I mean, I didn't really hear any rumors or stuff, but we speculated that probably somebody's going to get knocked off in this. But it didn't happen. I mean, not that I was looking for that, but they did manage with the storyline, especially with Rocket. They managed to tug at the heartstrings. Specifically with his character and his growth and stuff. That they show him as the baby growing up and what he went through. That right there was like, it was, I'm almost 50, and that pushed me to almost tear up in the theater there. So, but
that was heart-wrenching.
Yeah, I was happy that nobody. I mean, we've seen people, Iron Man, we've seen them pass and stuff. So I don't think it was needed in this, necessarily, because they put a nice bow on everybody's character. So they pulled it off.
They absolutely did. It, and like I said, you were just saying with Rocket's story, knowing that it would be such heartbreak and just such a tragic story, and they told it so well.
Yeah.
And it gave him such a nice arc of, starting off as this innocent woodland creature caught by this maniac, to and not a direct route to the Rocket that we know today.
Right.
They hit on all the points of what made him the character that we know.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't okay. They gave him the experiment on him, and that's how he turned out. No, he was a completely different character, and there was a catalyst. There was a couple turning points into what changed him to the character that we see at the beginning of Guardians 1.
Mm-hmm.
We never get to the point of how he met Groot.
Right. Yeah, they didn't go into that, right?
To be honest, I don't think they needed to. It was a Groot story.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a Han and how Han met Chewie kind of moment. We didn't really need that.
No, it was literally all about Rocket's past and how he became the trash panda he is today.
Yeah, and I mean, you can argue he, out of all of the Guardians of the Galaxy, his after seeing this movie, his is probably the more intriguing storyline out of all of them. Just for the pure, what he went through.
Well, Drax is pretty sad too, but you already know about it, and it's not one that I don't want to say needs to be seen, but his wife and his daughter was killed by Thanos. Okay, what? Why do we need to see it? We were told that over a couple of movies. We kind of witnessed what Thanos was doing. So why do we need to see it?
Mm-hmm.
Gamora, we knew everything.
Right.
Nebula, we knew enough.
Right.
As well. Star-Lord, we've seen that one.
Mm-hmm.
So it really comes down to and Mantis. We have her whole story as well.
Right.
So it comes down to Rocket and Groot, and Rocket's is definitely the more interesting of the.
Yeah.
Of the set. I found it interesting that a lot of the stuff that they're showing in the trailers is from the first quarter of the movie.
Yeah, I know. I think it was when they're walking out. I guess they were carrying Star-Lord or whatever in the trailer. That was like within the first 5 minutes of the movie.
You're expecting that to be the end.
The end,
it's right at the beginning. It's not because he's wounded. It's because he's passed out drunk.
Exactly. Yeah.
I totally did not see it coming that way.
Yeah. And then when they were all in those colorful space uniforms or whatever, they reminded me of the Wiggles. Oh,
jeez, I didn't even take it that way.
They reminded me of the Wiggles, man. I don't know if that's what they were going for, but that's where my brain went. Just having a kid and her watching that, just seeing the different colors. I'm like, oh, man.
Nope. Now you mentioned it. I will never get that out of my head again. I was thinking like a Skittles commercial or something like that. Taste the rainbow. Be the rainbow.
No, I went to fruit salad. Yummy.
Deep tug a big red car.
Yep. Yeah. The only I don't know how you feel, but the one person that was in it where he felt out of place was Adam Warlock. His character, he was there, but I don't know what purpose he was serving there.
I guess really what it was is because you introduced him in the last one, so you had to pay him off in this one.
Right.
But he wasn't compelling enough to be the bad guy.
Right.
And he's not compelling enough to hold a candle to the main bad guy that they came up with.
Right. Exactly.
They try to tie that in because we had the explanation that, okay, the creator created that race, and it's he goes out and keeps on trying to create these races and keeps trying to perfect them. So this Adam Warlock and that whole race was something that he created, so that there's the connection there. But I guess it's a character since they want to bring him in because you need who's replacing the Guardians that we know.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the next round of Guardians, and in the comic books he does show up there, I believe. So this is how we're going to bring him in. I don't think it was the best way to bring him in, but that's what they came up with.
Right.
But now we have Guardians 2.0.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which we get at the end. Is it something that we'll need a movie with them? No, but if we want to bring them in, they're around. There's still a lot you could do with them without having to do a whole movie with with them.
And I mean, from what I heard going in was that Stallone, his character was supposed to have a bigger role in this movie, in some way, but that didn't turn out to be the case. He was there, he did his thing, but it didn't affect, in my opinion, it didn't really affect the overall story. So, I don't know where I heard that rumor, but they were wrong.
Yeah, I mean, and things change. That they go initially with one script, and you come out with something completely different.
Right.
Everything changes daily when you're making movies. It's not the clean cut process that many people believe it is, where, okay, here's the script, they shoot the script, they edit it, done, put it in special effects, here's your movie.
Yeah.
It's the script is constantly evolving and rewriting and changing on a sometimes more than once a day, which is one of the reasons why they have different color pieces of paper. So we're using the green sheets today, and now we're doing the purple sheets. We're doing whatever it is so that they keep track of which edition that they're using. And that way, it's like you write it, and then once you start having it play out, you realize, oh, this doesn't work as well as we thought it would be.
Mm-hmm.
So could that be an initial idea? Sure. I mean, you also have to figure this was something that was supposed to start years ago, and the whole gun falling out, and now they bring him back. He has to start, has to finish up the stuff that he promised for DC, and then COVID, and so a lot of things happened to change the course of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
I still think we ended up with a fantastic flick. I mean, I did switch stuff up. I mean, yeah, sure, could have worked, could have been better, maybe, I don't know, but I mean, I am very pleased with what we got.
Mm-hmm.
We had a nice conclusion to Gamora's story as well.
Yep.
Adding a lot of notes, a lot of cameos. I mean, the Howard the Duck segment, I thought that was cool that they did bring him back.
Mm-hmm.
Cosmo, the bad dog.
What's his face? Howard the Duck's almost like the new Stan Lee. He's like, you wait to see him in these movies now.
Let's make that happen.
Yeah.
Have Howard the Duck show up in the rest of the movies, so that he could show up in the Marvels, and then Blade. And, Captain America 4.
Mm-hmm. But I did like with Kraglin, they finally got him to he finally learned how to use the arrow with the whistling and stuff.
Oh, yes.
So, that was phenomenal. Obviously he failed a few times, but then boom, finally figured it out, So that was cool. No, they for me, what's his face? The guy that did Taika Waititi.
Yes.
He can learn a lesson from Gunn as far as how to balance the movie with comedy and action and darkness and all that stuff like that, instead of just pounding you upside the head. Because there was a lot of laughter. There was a lot of funny stuff in this movie, but it wasn't forced. It wasn't, every second trying to beat you to make you laugh. It was a good, Gunn can, dude, this guy, if he wants to do Star Wars, let him do Star Wars. This guy
He's got a few other obligations, but.
No, I know. But down the road, hey, I love what this guy does, and I would sign up for his stuff any day.
Yeah, he did a phenomenal job. He delivered a solid project. Isaac was there with us as well. And I was sitting next to him, and we were cracking up through half the movie.
Yeah.
It was so. Yeah, it was so enjoyable. I like Nathan Fillion's character, that he made an appearance. How his character played out. Mantis's story arc in this one, I thought was enjoyable as well. It's like, I am not just your kind of comedic punching bag.
Yeah.
There's more to me than that, and that played out. Yeah, Sean Gunn's character, that was nice. I'm trying to think what else now.
On a different note, what did you think of the music? Because every time when he's always got those cassette tapes with the music that plays in there.
I didn't think it worked as well.
Yeah, I did. That's the one thing. Like, yeah, that was because like the first two movies, those things hit. So like basically, if you hear that song out on the radio, you're like, oh, that's from Guardians. That's awesome. You know what I mean? Like this one, it was. I don't know if I'm gonna get. Like, if I hear it again, I don't know if that's gonna bring me to Guardians 3. But yeah.
Yeah, I get each one. They try to up the up it a little bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one, I didn't dislike the music. I liked a lot of the music selections, but I just don't think it hit in the same ways that it did the other two movies.
I agree 100%. Like, they were good songs. Like, don't get me wrong, they were good, but I don't know, they just didn't fit. They didn't seem to fit like the other ones did.
Right.
I don't know. Whatever. But that's a small nitpick. Yeah. But I did like at the end, like where you got those 3 space alien things that they were riding on. Like that was the same creature they fought, right? At the beginning of the Volume 2, I thought. When they were,
yes.
Where Baby Groot was dancing around and they were fighting them. So
yes.
I thought that was cool. They tied them back in at the end.
Yes, it was. It was the same creatures so they did bring that back.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think worked out very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, did you? And something else I heard, and I missed this, and see if you caught it, that at the end, that when they're bringing all the creatures off the spaceship and bringing them onto nowhere, Drax is carrying the High Evolutionary.
I did not see that.
No, neither did I. But I did hear about this. I'll have to go to Disney Plus, so I'll check it out.
Yeah, because to point that, I mean, there was so much going on. How could you know what I mean? Because you're looking at there's a lot on the screen. So to pinpoint that's wow.
Well, I'm sure this is that movie that you will go back and watch multiple times and go, I didn't realize that. I didn't notice that. I missed that last time.
Right.
Because like you said, there is so much going on. It's a visual feast.
Right. Kind of maybe that might be like the movie Ready Player One. I don't know if you ever saw that with the Spielberg movie. Like, a lot of people said that, there's so many cameos in there, but obviously, you're not going to notice it the first time you see it. You got to wait till you can pause it so that you can actually see all the people that are in it,
Yeah, because I remember watching that and going, oh, look at all this, look at all that. They did the same thing. Not that I'm endorsing this movie, Space Jam 2, with the basketball scene. In the stadium there, it's a Thanksgiving feast of characters, from Adam West's Batman to the Iron Giant to Voldemort to Harry Potter, pretty much any Warner IP or even Hanna-Barbera IP they try to throw in there.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what's the other one that I was just thinking of? Super Mario Brothers. Again, they threw in a lot of Nintendo references throughout all of that. So that's becoming much more commonplace, which is good and bad in its own ways. Because if you're not in the loop, you don't get it.
It's gonna go over your head. Yeah.
Right. If you're in the loop, it makes you enjoy it even more.
Mm-hmm.
But bring it back to Guardians, especially when they're all sitting around the table playing poker. Like I said, you have Howard the Duck, you have Cosmo, you have Sean Gunn's character, a few others.
Yeah, even the Cosmo the dog, that was cute throughout the whole thing. Take it back. I'm not a bad dog or whatever.
I'm not a bad dog.
It was cool. There wasn't really one for me. It wasn't one cringeworthy moment, in this. So
no, and again, they tried to push the characters in other ways that you haven't seen them before to take them out of their little boxes. Drax is another great example. That he's the big hunky, not very bright muscle guy, and you get moments of just like tender touch where he's just sitting there with all these children that are unfortunately are there for genetic experiment reasons only, and he's calming them down and he's connecting with them in ways that no one else was able to, and just these nice moments to expand the characters and like I said, and push them in different directions. Nebula again was the same way. Star-Lord, they made a little more tragic with the everything that he was going through. And then poor Rocket.
Yeah. And we can't forget about Kaiju Groot though. That was awesome.
Oh jeez.
when he grew all big and stuff There's some character talk about going out of the box, man. They unleashed him.
Yeah. And then he's just a walking head.
Yeah. Every character had their shining moment, I think, in this, and it was well done.
Yes, I'm trying to think. Was there visually the effects I thought were fantastic?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of anything else.
Two post-credit trailers.
Two post-credit. But like you said, it doesn't really set up anything else as far as we could tell.
No, not at all.
Other than Star-Lord will be back.
Yes. And that was the thing. It's like I'm always complaining about where are we going? It doesn't move the storyline along. I didn't expect that in this one though. I expected just a bow on these guys. So I wasn't disappointed in this, expecting it to move on because I knew this was the finale for these guys. But when I'm seeing I don't know, an Ant-Man or something like that, that's not a conclusion. I want to see some kind of movement to where Marvel's going. So I don't know. I think that's the difference in my outlook of how this went. Whether that's the right way to look, I don't know.
No, I think that's a fair assessment. That's a fair assessment because in a way the Guardians have always kind of been removed from everything since they are in outer space, literally physically removed from Earth and from everything that's going on here. But now Star-Lord is on Earth, so he is going to be more based, and they can bring him more into things that if they wanted to or when they want to. That there's a logic to that. Yeah, there's a logic to that.
Like I said, I wouldn't be. The problem is so Gunn is gone. Do you trust these characters under a different person? If they were to utilize them in some other series or cameos somewhere. That's tough.
That's hard to say. The only example we really have is Infinity War and Endgame. And when they showed up in there, now granted, I believe Gunn had some sort of say, or they did rely on him to help with developing the characters or how to write the characters or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But they did fine with the characters in there with their cameos and their brief appearances.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, in being with the limited amount of time that we have experiencing something like that, I would say yes.
Right.
But it's not a strong yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would be hesitant. You know, because we would tell, we just being fans of the Guardians, man, if we saw them and you could, if they go outside the box of what you would expect from them, then you're going to sit there and go, oh, man, we need Gunn.
Yeah. Well, good luck with that.
Yeah, I know.
But with the state of water in DC now, who knows?
Yeah, true.
But no, I wish him well. I really wish him well with everything he's got going forward. Yeah, he's got a lot on his plate, but I think he could try and pull it off.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah.
But yeah, with the Guardians characters going forward, and this was saying before, and I heard this with Jim Hill, that he was saying that, you know, like I said, we don't need another movie. They're still there. They can be referenced. They can be brought in briefly. And with it being 50% new characters, you know, you can kind of, you don't have to worry about what Gunn has done in the past with them, because you have enough. Groot is easy.
Yeah.
Rocket, you have enough information to go with there to put him in his direction. Sean Gunn's character, again, you have enough there to kind of go with it. You have the actor to be able to work with there. And then Adam Warlock, still new enough.
Yeah.
Could be anything. And whoever that girl was, again, we know nothing about her, so she could be anything.
Right.
No.
Are you hearing anything? Are there any rumors to those characters? Do you think they're going to utilize them, or they're just? I mean, I know Star-Lord's coming back, like in some capacity, because that was
the only two that truly wanted out was Zoe Sindel and David Bautista.
Okay.
They wanted out. Their characters have been, you know, wrapped up in a nice little bow. And so they're done for now. Everyone else is willing to come back. I mean, I know for what's his name, it is for Vin Diesel, it's a stretch. It's a very complicated working schedule for him to constantly say, I am Groot.
I'm gonna say, you don't need him. You got him on. You got his voice recorded now.
I want that paycheck. I want his paycheck to go, I am Groot.
I am Groot.
I am Groot. I am Groot. And walk away with that money.
I wonder how much. I've never looked it up, but I wonder how much he's gotten paid for these roles.
It's more than we make.
Well, I know that, but I'm just saying, like, does he get paid as much as like Star-Lord would? Chris Pratt, but I would doubt it, but
I would think to that extent. But does he make the same amount as Bradley Cooper's Rocket?
Right.
Who's obviously, there's a lot more of a performance there. I don't know. I do not know. But no, again, I think all in all they were brilliant. I like the, I keep on saying I like the story arc. I like the story arc for I was gonna say Nebula, not Nebula. Gamora's arc. Okay.
Yeah.
We get a little, she's back. We get a little more about it. And to me, I was fine with how they ended that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
In the direction that all, it was complicated and messy in the way that it should have been complicated and messy.
Yeah, but she slowly warmed up to them and at the end and stuff. So it's
like, if it was me in a different life, then okay, I understand this, but this is not who I am now.
Right. Yeah.
To like I said, to me that worked. It was wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Marvel needed this win though. They really did. They needed this one in the worst way. I only hope, because what's the next one coming? The Marvels, right?
Marvels is next. Yes.
I don't know how well that's gonna do, but to go, I hope it does well.
I really hope it does as well. It is. I am looking forward to seeing more of Kamal Khan and that aspect of it. So yeah, I mean, we shall see. It looks like it could be. It looks like it has good potential.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean anything sometimes.
This is true. It could be the next. What's the one you didn't like?
Black Widow.
Black Widow.
I'm not the only one. From what I remember, you didn't care for that one either.
It was all right. It didn't bother me as much as
Isaac and I did that one.
Isaac,
right.
Yeah. It didn't bother me as much as it did you. Was it their greatest work? No, but it didn't bother me as much. For me, it was the ones that the Celestials in it, or what the heck was the name of that one?
Eternals.
Yeah, that was me.
I liked Eternals better than that.
Yeah. Okay.
I will put Eternals above Black Widow and Love and Thunder.
Yeah, I forgot about Love. It's our weekly episode bash of Love and Thunder. Yeah, I forgot about Love and Thunder. Love and Thunder's last. The Eternals are second to last. Then Black Widow.
Yeah, I flip Black Widow and Eternals. Because
there you go.
I could justify Eternals because it did move the story.
Yeah.
It introduced the Celestials and that whole thing, and things are peeling off of that.
Mm-hmm.
So that did more than Black Widow.
Yeah, sure.
Love and Thunder.
Right. But until they continue the story, I don't even know if they are, but they got to give us more of that storyline with the Eternals. So basically that movie could be resurrected for me if they add more to it that makes sense. Because to me, that movie made zero sense.
I get that.
So.
But hey, it gave us a great roller coaster.
Yeah, there you go. Oh boy!
Because the Guardians of the Galaxy ride would not be the same if we didn't have the giant celestial on it. It ruins the whole story.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Which is a fantastic attraction.
Yeah, I wouldn't know. I'll hopefully find out in August.
I am waiting with bated breath.
Yeah.
For the moment that you step foot off of there, either text me or call me.
Well, I'll text you straight away if I actually get in on the queue to get on that thing. But that's the hope.
You were right.
Yes.
You were right. Second best attraction there.
Yeah. I'm looking for Galaxy and the Guardians of the Galaxy ride and Tron. Those are the two rides I'm looking forward to hopefully get on.
I can't speak for Tron, but I've heard good things about Tron, other than it's short.
That was the only thing I heard. It's short. So waiting 3 hours for a short ride is not an option.
No. But so, anything else you want to bring up?
Not really. I mean, Doctor Who's coming along, but I really can't give a season 4 review because I'm still like an episoder. But I did see that there's like a whole bunch of bonus episodes or something, right? There's like specials or something that come in. There's like 4 of them.
Season 4 is the last season for David Tennant, but it didn't conclude his story. They did, instead of doing a 5th season, they gave us 3 specials that they spread out over the holidays. So you had your, what was it? It was like Easter, Christmas, Easter, or I forget the exact, but it was like an Easter, mid-year, and Christmas specials or something like that, where they split up his last set of stories that way. And so you get those.
Yeah, 'cause I was sitting there going, wow, I'm on episode 12, so I only got 2 more to go. And then I looked at HBO Max changed the thing to Max, so I had to scroll. It's a different, the layout's different. I'll get used to it. And I'm like, wait, there's how many more I got to go through? I was like, there's 4 or 5 more episodes. I'm like, come on.
So you'll get the conclusion of this season. You'll get the conclusion of Donna's story at the end of this season.
Yeah.
And then it's kind of the Doctor wandering on his own with Waters of Mars, which that's a freaky one.
Mm-hmm.
I forgot the name of the other 2.
What I will say about this season that I've seen thus far is that, and we've talked about this already, it's a really like they're good episodes. I'm not tearing them apart, but they are very wacky, weird episodes where your brain is like, what is going on here? So you get some trippy stuff, which like I said, I have no problem with. I had no issues whatsoever, but it was just like, wow, the writers were on something for this one. Because just watching the 3 seasons prior, there was no kind of like stretch of episodes like these ones. Like you could tell they were like, all right, we're going for something different.
Okay, yeah, you had the Next Doctor, Waters of Mars, and End of Time.
Mm-hmm. And they split the Christmas episodes two episodes, I think. It's like a part 1, part 2.
Yes. Yes. So, no, there was another one. One where he ends up in the desert with a double-decker bus.
Yep, that sounds like Doctor Who.
But Planet of the Dead. That's it. Planet of the Dead.
Yeah, it's just cool because like I know there's a different Doctor coming in the next season. So in season 5, so I'm like, I wanted to get through. Not that I wanted to fast forward through it, but I was like, oh, I'm almost done with 4, so I get to see the regeneration of a new guy, and let's see if I can get into this guy because Tennant's been phenomenal. He's good.
Yes,
I like him. So I don't know. Now it's going to be hard. Like I said, Eccleston, I liked him, but Tennant destroyed him.
You did believe me at first.
Yeah, no, I didn't. But like he grew on me, his mannerisms, the way he acts, I love him. So now he's got this bar set high. So I don't know if these other ones are going to compete with him, but we'll see.
I won't say anything.
Okay, good.
I'm not going to say anything. But maybe expect a similar arc from Matt Smith.
Matt Smith? Is he he's the next one, no?
Yep.
Yeah, okay.
I enjoyed the 2 of them. I felt they played the part very, very well.
Mm. How many seasons did Matt Smith get, though? You remember? He got 3 as well.
3 sounds right.
Mm-hmm.
Because let's see, he started in 5, 6, 7. Yeah, 5, 6, and 7. So 3 seasons.
Now, this is not a spoiler on me, but I've never asked you this question before. But like with the changes of the Doctors, the companions that they have, do they keep those companions relative to the Doctor that they were with?
Sometimes.
You know what I mean? Like if you have the next guy, Matt Smith. So Are they is Rose gonna go talk to him? You know what I mean? Because she was with David Tennant. So do they cross companions with the newest Doctors? Because I only ask because I'm like, that's got to be weird, you know, for the.
That's a complicated question.
Question.
I mean, I'll try to simplify it though. A lot of it also depends on the showrunner. So what happens at the end of David Tennant's run is that the showrunners switch.
Mm-hmm.
So, so everything is kind of like a clean slate.
Mm.
So
Okay.
new companions, new Doctor, so forth. At the end of Matt Smith's run, so it's the same showrunner, you still have the same companion transition with the transitioning the Doctor. So you end with the companion A, and then you begin the new Doctor with companion A, and then eventually that companion leaves. After Peter Capaldi's run, again the showrunner switches. Everybody leaves. New Doctor, new companions.
New slate. Yeah. Okay. So it depends because Rose did the same things. Rose ended with Eccleston, started with
yes.
Tennant. Right. Okay. I
So
got you.
that generally will happen more often than not. So that way you're not getting a whole new cast at once.
Mm-hmm. But like a Martha Jones, will they bring a Martha Jones in who never met any of the other Doctors? Would they bring her back? You know what I mean?
Did Martha Jones show back up for Matt Smith? I don't believe so.
Okay.
Yeah, so no.
I know it's a lot of episodes. It's a lot to absorb to remember.
Yeah. You do get some characters that follow through,
Mm-hmm.
but not that many. So Jack Harkness, you're not going to see him again for a while.
Okay.
But he got 3 seasons of Torchwood, so if you want more Jack Harkness, you got that.
Mm-hmm. Which his character grew on me. I kind of, at first I was like, okay, and then he just he grows
not to give you another show, but then check out Torchwood.
Yeah,
which is also very different.
Mm-hmm.
It is very tongue in cheek. It's very adult oriented. It's let's blow things up type of thing. Then you have Donna. Not going to see again until November. I don't believe Martha Jones. I don't believe we see again. That's everybody from Tenet.
Yeah.
So, but you'll get some recurring characters like pop up here and there and stuff like that. So, and Matt Smith again, you'll get cycled through. So it's like, okay, here's the main ones, but then we have these secondary set of characters, and they become, brought in and do some recurring stuff. So
yeah. And it's funny because I'm starting to catch on because I'll ask you, I'm starting to catch on to this character must have been in the first run of Doctor Who, and they're bringing him back to this run of Doctor Who. I'm picking up on that stuff because I'm like, okay, this guy definitely had something to do, like the Daleks. The
Daleks, Davros show, Davros show back up.
Right, so I'm like, I don't remember him, but he looks like he was probably from the previous one and all that. So, and then I'll just text you or I'll ask you, hey, what's his background? What was he all about?
I don't think I have Genesis of the Daleks on DVD, but I'm positive I have VHS.
Don't make me have to dust off my VHS player, or just go to Pete's. They'll let me watch.
There you go. I'm pretty sure I don't have it. But yeah, no, he's it's one of those weird things where he's important, but he's such a he's an important part of the Daleks' history. Though he didn't show up until 7 seasons after the Daleks were introduced. Daleks were introduced in the second story of Doctor Who.
Right.
So you have the Unearthly Child, which was the first block of stories. Then you have the Daleks, which they were introduced that early on. Davros didn't show up until the 4th story of the 4th Doctor.
Wow.
So 1970 something.
Yeah. Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to stick with the 05 to present run.
And then you can fill in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because they're doing a good job. It's well written. I love it. It's just, it's just trying to find the time, between work, family, playing Jedi Survivor, and trying to watch Doctor Who.
I get it. I've been doing the same thing with the Electric Mayhem series. I am finally up to episode 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And I've been absolutely loving it.
Really? How long are the episodes?
30 to 40 minutes.
Okay. That's doable.
But again, it's trying to find that time. But when I sit down and watch it, they got me sold. I'm completely on board with it.
Yeah. All right.
But that review will be coming up soon.
Yes.
All right, Sarah. Thank you so much.
Yes. Thank you for having me again. I'm glad we're back.
Same here. Same here. Hopefully everyone else is happy that we're back too.
Yeah, true.
And on that bombshell,
yep.
Maybe we'll be talking soon. Thank you.
You got it. You got it, bud. Thanks.
Thank you again, Dave. And what did you think of both, or either one, Mandalorian Season 3 and Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? Let us know. Join the conversation on our Facebook, facebook.com/WDMagicCast, on our Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. We're all at WDMagicCast, and there's our Facebook group, facebook.com/group/WDMagicCast. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can check out the audio version of the show there. You could also leave us a voice message through the Anchor app or Anchor.fm website, or record a message electronically and email it to the show along with any questions or suggestions you may have to email at wdmagiccast.com. Links to all these are in the show notes and are on our website, which is wdmagiccast.com. I want to thank you for your time. I know how little time we all have, hence the lapse of episodes, but the fact that we get to spend this time together again truly means a lot to all of us over here at WD Magiccast. We truly appreciate all of you, each and every one of you. We cannot thank you enough. But please help the show out. Go to Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Leave a rating or review over there. We have all 5-star reviews on Apple Podcasts. Truly blessed. Thank you so much, but keep them coming. We need more. The more that we get, the more Apple Podcasts will promote this show and help grow the show that way. Also, same thing with Spotify. The more reviews we get on there, the more that they will promote the show. So it will really help us out. Also, other ways to do it. If you don't want to leave a rating and or a review, share it out on social networks. Share it on Facebook, on Twitter, or whatever app you use. What app, this app, that app. Share out a link to the episode that you're listening. Hey, check this out. Great episode. Put it out there so other people can see. Let your Disney friends know about the show. Share it out. Because the bigger the Disney family, the better. Walt believed in a big Disney family, and so do I. Don't forget to subscribe to the show as well. This way you always know when new episodes are posted. While you're at it, consider becoming a premium subscriber. Really, really help the show out. Help me out here. And you can do this over at anchor.fm/WDMagicCast/support. You can also check out our merchandise shop. Get some cool, fun WD Magiccast stuff for the summer to wear. Tank tops, t-shirts, travel bags. We got a whole bunch of stuff. Links to these are in the show notes and on our website as well, because remember, this show is brought to you by listeners like you. Hey, whatever you're facing out there, darkness, troubles, whatever hard times you're facing, you are not alone. And I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart. You are worth it. You are special, and you are someone that the world needs. People need you. May not feel like it. You may not always realize it. But don't give in. Don't let the noise get to you. Because there are people out there who want to help you and can maybe help block out that noise. That noise is not real. That noise is not the truth. The truth is that you are loved and you are special, and that there are people out there who need you. Never give up, never give in. Be your own hero and let your light shine for the world to see. Now I'd like to end this show with a quote from Walt Disney himself. Physical America, the land itself, should be as dear to us all as our political heritage and our treasured ways of life. Its preservation and the wise conservation of its renewable resources concern every man, woman, and child whose possession it is. Again, that's Walt Disney. Thank you again for listening, everyone, and I'll see you next time.